Okay, it's Iron Bowl week. Obviously, a big week. We're playing the number one team in the country. Since I've been the head coach here for 8 years, I think they've either been number one or number two in the country every time but one. I think that was last year, and they were number five. Offensively, number one in our league in scoring offense. Defensively, they're number one in our league in scoring defense. Their head coach, probably one of the best to ever do it. So it's the same old story. We're excited to go there and play. I know our kids and our coaches are really looking forward to this. Questions?
First question is from Jay Tate.
Hey, Gus, you said last night on Tiger Talk about that when you're playing Nick, that he's always got an answer for anything you do very quickly. Does that change the way you and Chad kind of talk this week as far as do you have to kind of think 2 steps ahead on everything?
Well, yeah, you got to assume if you do hurt them with something, they're not going to let you hurt them with it again. Like I said, that's one of the things that always stood out to me, just how well coached, his teams are.
This is Jeff Spiegel.
Yeah, Gus, Bo has played really well the last 3 games since the loss to South Carolina. Was there a conversation between you and him that helped flip that switch, or is he a guy where he really doesn't need any help flipping that switch?
I don't know. We talk every week. In our league, especially the head coaches and the quarterbacks, I believe to be successful, they've got to be extremely close. And it was a tough go, but, he bounced back. We talked about it, and he bounced back just like I knew he would. And he's playing extremely well right now. And, I think you've seen him grow and get better each game. He's still learning a new coordinator, a new offense, and you've seen him grow. And so I think he's in a good spot, here finishing the season now.
Jason Caldwell's next.
Gus, you talked all year about next man up mentality. Offensive line, you've had to go through that a couple of times already. Who would be the next guys if Alec and Brodarius weren't able to go after, if you needed something else?
Yeah, Jaleel Irvin. And then after that, it's just you'd probably be by committee. I mean, obviously it's no secret right now that we've been beat up front. Offensively, we'll see if we're able to get our tackles back. I don't know at this point right now. We already lost Brandon Council earlier in the year, so you're exactly right. It's next man up, and just got to step up, get the job done, and so that's our mindset.
Next is Gianna Hahn.
Hey, Coach. When you watch film of Alabama, in what are the biggest ways you've seen Mac Jones improve since you played him last season?
Well, you can tell he's got more experience. I mean, I thought he did a solid job last year, especially when he had time. But, you see he's really confident. Boy, I tell you what, their offensive line, they're probably one of the best that I've seen in our league. I mean, they're really, really good at the run blocking, and they do very good at the protection. And when they're able to run the football, and then they do their play action, off of it, they do a great job protecting him. And the thing that really stands out to me is just the rhythm, the timing of his throwing, with his receivers. You can tell he's more experienced.
Nathan King's next.
Hey, Gus. You guys did it again against Tennessee where you kind of shut down the other team's top receiver. How pleased have you been with the execution of that game plan to take away a team's top guy? And what kind of challenge is that going to be against Devontae Smith?
Yeah, Devontae Smith is one of the best. There's no doubt about that. But up to this point, our defense has done a really good job, at least controlling somewhat top receivers. We'll have to do that again. Now, they got some other really talented guys around him, but there's no doubt he's an elite guy, and we need to know where he's at.
John Zener.
Yeah, Coach, given how much this rivalry means in the state and to the teams, how much of a relief is it that it looks like, knock on wood, you guys are going to get to play? There's no certainties this year.
Yeah, there's definitely no certainties. I mean, it's been a bizarre year in a lot of different ways, and the good thing is, I guess we're playing this thing the same week as we normally do. That's probably about the only thing normal, as far as everything leading up to this.
Justin Ferguson.
Hey, Gus, you've beaten Alabama 3 times as a head coach. You've had some high-scoring games against them, some low-scoring games against them. When you look back at the 3 times y'all have been able to beat Alabama, is there anything similar from those games that kind of like a thread that goes through all 3 of them, why y'all are able to beat them?
Yeah, our you look at the times we've won, our guys have made plays. I mean, they've made plays to win games, and when we've won, it's the fourth quarter. We've done extremely well in the fourth quarter, so that's probably the keys.
Next question is from Stephen Smith. Stephen? All right, we'll move forward. We'll go to Jordan Hill.
Gus, you mentioned almost every time you guys have played Alabama, they've been number 1 or number 2, and you guys have won 2 of the last 3 games. Do you feel like your guys take sort of an underdog mentality with playing them? And if so, do you feel like that's helpful as they get ready to play such a good Alabama team?
Well, I mean, I think, that's one of the reasons you come to Auburn is to play in the Iron Bowl. And, our guys, they get extremely excited about this game. This is a game that, we think about 365 days a year. So, that's really probably the simplest way to put it.
Next is Mark Murphy.
Yeah, just wanted to check on Killian Zier, how he's coming along, and could he play if he absolutely needed him?
Yeah. Killian is getting better each week. I think he is getting healthier. He had the knee surgery in the off season, but he has gotten better. He's got quite a few reps. He's a guy that is in the mix. I mean, we've got quite a few new guys that are in the mix this week that will need to have a good week of practice and be prepared to play.
Bergen, the freshman, one of those guys, he played tackle in high school, but I think he's been playing center for you guys and guard.
Yeah. He's playing center primarily right now. Tate Johnson's a guy that has played center and guard. Kamar Bell's also a guy that has got some reps.
We'll circle back to Stephen Smith.
I think Steve quit.
Stephen? You're on mute. All right.
How about now?
There you go.
Okay, here we go. So, Coach, since he's been there, Kevin Steele's been one of the best defensive coordinators in the sport. What does he do defensively to really frustrate opposing offenses, whether it's blitzing, man, zone coverage? What does Kevin Steele specialize in?
Well, I think he first of all does a great job in preparation with our players and trying to take away, what the offense does best. And just the thing about Kevin is, man, we've really been good at tackling and just the basic fundamentals of playing defense that a lot of times gets overlooked this day and time because people worry more about scheme, I think. But I think he does a great job in all those areas.
Some follow-ups, Jeff Spiegel.
Gus, a lot of coaches, try to treat every game the same, but this game, how different does it feel? I mean, from a coaching standpoint, and how much more does the hair stand up on the back of your neck in this one?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a normal game. I mean, this is the Iron Bowl, and like I said, this game, I first coaching this game in 2009 as a coordinator. People would tell me what it was like and this, and you've got to experience it to fully understand it and get a grasp of it, and it changes you. And I know after that first year, it changed me. And this is something that here at Auburn, I know me personally, I think about it 365 days a year.
Justin Ferguson.
Hey, Gus, you guys' defense has been able to, come up with 3 interceptions in the end zone. You've had, you've forced them into some short field goals that they've missed, like with Tennessee last week. How important is it to have a defense like that can lock it down in the red zone like that?
It's very important. I think we're one of the better red zone defenses in the country, and you just said it. We've had 3 interceptions in the end zone, and of course 2 of them were taken back 100 yards for a touchdown. 1 was called back, but we've been very opportunistic down there. Our defense, as the field condenses, have done a super job. So we got to continue that.
Jordan Hill.
Gus, you talked about Bo a little earlier. I wanted to go back to last year's Iron Bowl and the way he played. Just your thoughts on how he handled such a big moment in his very first Iron Bowl.
Yeah, I think that that was a real growing point. As you got a freshman quarterback, I was learning him as we go, and he ended up playing one of his best games in the Iron Bowl. And sometimes at home, especially for young players, there's more pressure than even if you're on the road. And so the way he handled that, running the football, protecting it, he made some big-time throws, made some plays, outside of the system. And he really played well. And so I think that was really a growing point for him. And, he grew up Auburn. And, his dad was a great player here, so he understands. He fully understands, what the Iron Bowl means and everything that goes with it. So we're glad that we have Bo Nix leading us going in this Iron Bowl.
John Zener.
Yeah, Coach. It probably gets overlooked a little bit from last year's Iron Bowl, but Anders Carlson delivered pretty well from you guys. How big was he in that game, and how much more consistent has he become?
He was huge. The one right before half, right there on the whistle field goal, and they actually changed the rule after that play. That's how impactful that play was. Then I guess it was third quarter, and he kicked a long field goal. They jumped off sides. We made it. Actually took 3 points off the board, and we didn't end up scoring a touchdown. He still had to come back and kick another long one, and he made it. He was a huge key. He was one of the MVPs last year. You look at what he did, last week with a 50-yarder. He's one of the best kickers in college football, and so he understands this rivalry very well too. He's got family ties with this, and I'm glad he's our kicker going into this Iron Bowl.
Nathan King.
Hey, Gus, kind of circling back to the Kevin Steele question. I remember in the preseason you talked about how important tackling was going to be with the shortened offseason. How pleased have you been with that? What's kind of your assessment of that? And how important is that going to be against the good skill guys that Alabama has in space?
Yeah, I've been very pleased, and we've tackled well, I feel like, and especially with not going through spring. And, that's one thing that we work on every day, and that the defense and defensive staff spends time on when, a lot of people probably this time of year just go straight to scheme, and I think that really helps.
Brian Matthews.
Yes, Gus, thank you for speaking to us. Wanted to ask you about Iron Bowl in 2010. Last time you won down there, what do you remember about the comeback?
Oh, wow. I remember that we faced major adversity. That's what I remember. That first half was that was really something, and just the fight that our guys that showed to come back, and you could feel the momentum switch. And just like the other times we won, the fourth quarter we played well, and you could feel it. You can feel the momentum switch, and it was just one of those things that our guys made plays, found a way to win, and that was a huge win. Probably one of my favorite games to ever be a part of.
Thank you, Coach.
Got a few more. Mark Murphy.
I wanted to ask, how important is it going to be to put some pressure on Alabama's quarterback, and also how's KJ Britt coming along?
Yeah, KJ, he won't play. He still hadn't been cleared. As far as putting pressure, I think that's a huge key. But what they do well, when they can run the football well, which they've done every game well, it makes it a challenge on their play action, putting pressure on him. And he's extremely accurate. Like I said earlier, it's very impressive to watch on film the timing he has with his receivers. So that'll be a big challenge, but that's part of it. And we got to find ways to make him uncomfortable.
Our last two. First is Jeff Spiegel, followed by Steve Moulton.
Yeah, Gus, can you give us an update on Tank?
Yeah, Tank's he's still questionable. I mean, obviously, he couldn't return last week. So we'll see how he progresses this week, and hopefully towards the end of the week we'll have an idea whether he'll be able to go or not.
Steve?
Coach, what do you like most about your team heading into this Iron Bowl, Coach?
Oh, what I like most about them, first of all, the character that our team has, the closeness that our team has. I really think our team understands what it means to play Auburn football and be an Auburn man. And then the adversity they've overcome. I mean, this has been a year of we've said it numerous times, but this has been an interesting year, and the ups and downs. And for our guys to play their best game against LSU and then not get to play for 21 days and still find a way to beat a talented Tennessee team, even though we didn't play our best. It took us a while to get going. And this group's persevered, man. And, we've lost K.J. Brett. We lost K.J. Brett, one of our best players, our first-team All-SEC player. We lost him. He was our team leader. One game, I guess Arkansas, we played without 3 of our 4 team leaders. We lost our most talented offensive lineman 4 or 5 weeks ago. We played without some people, and our guys it's been next man up. And it's got to be that same type mentality this week with the injury situation we have.
And Coach, finally, my apologies if you've already been asked this. It's about Mac Jones and really what you've seen progression-wise from last Iron Bowl to this Iron Bowl and the Alabama quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a more experienced guy, and I thought he did some really good stuff last year too. But he looks more experienced, and he's very efficient.